My article, the final article for the year, is the decade is drawing to a close. Rumi pronounced that we come spinning out of nothingness, scattering stars like dust. And the Mevlana, as he was wont to do, intuited the truth. We now know that nearly half of the atoms that make up our bodies may have formed beyond the Milky Way and travelled to the solar system on intergalactic winds, driven by giant exploding stars, astronomers claim. The dramatic conclusion emerges from computer simulations that reveal how galaxies grow over eons by absorbing huge amounts of material that is blasted out of neighboring galaxies when stars explode at the end of their lives. Science is very useful for finding our place in the universe, said Daniel Angles Alcazar, an astronomer at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. In some sense, we are extragalactic visitors or immigrants in what we think as our galaxy. Our origins are much less local than we thought, said Fauché Gijouer. This study gives us a sense of how things around us are connected to distant objects in the sky. However, Don DeLillo brings us right back to Earth, pronouncing we're the last billionth of a second in the evolution of matter. The world has been spinning at a dizzying speed, and whilst it is only the end of the decade, it somehow feels like the fin de siècle. Changes which are actually taking place at these junctures tend to acquire extra, sometimes mystical layers of meaning. It certainly feels like a decade of semiotic arousal, when everything it seemed was a sign, a harbinger of some future radical disjuncture or cataclysmic upheaval. On one side, we have economists who opine we have never had it so good, that mankind has entered a golden age, a miraculous moment of prosperity, reducing poverty and increasing longevity. On the other side, we have a 16-year-old, Greta, Tintin, Eleonora, Ernman, Thunberg, announcing, "How dare you?" and that you've stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. Millions of people are on the streets from Latin America to Europe, from India to just about everywhere. It feels like a very binary moment. Predicting the future is now, in fact, more complex than the computer simulations which revealed how galaxies grew over eons. Dominic Cummings, Boris Johnson's advisor, captured this best in a blog captioned "The Hollow Men." Our world is based on extremely complex, non-linear, interdependent networks, physical, mental, social. Properties emerge from feedback between vast numbers of interactions. For example, the war of ant colonies, the immune system's defenses, market prices, and abstract thoughts all emerge from the interaction of millions of individual agents. Interdependence, feedback, and non-linearity mean that systems are fragile and vulnerable to non-linear shocks. Big things come from small beginnings, and problems cascade. They come not single spies, but in battalions. Prediction is extremely hard even for small timescales. Effective action and even loose control are very hard, and most endeavours fail. Interestingly, he concluded thus: they think they are prepared to run the country, but many cannot run their own diaries. Politics therefore suffers from a surfeit of narcissists. Therefore, the above is my long-winded caveat emptor. The best investments over the past decade have been as follows: Bitcoin plus 8,990,000%. Netflix plus 4,177%. Amazon plus 1,787%. MasterCard plus 1,126%. Apple plus 966%. Visa plus 824%. Starbucks plus 800%. Bitcoin, in fact, returned 88% in 2019. As you know, I'm a naysayer now. The level of hocus-pocus analysis around Bitcoin is now just too much, and I'm inclined to the view that Bitcoin will likely prove to be an intelligence-level operation, and probably of the Jeffrey Epstein sort. Bitcoin was last at 7,360. And of course it is the epitome of non-linearity, so I would like to be short, probably closer to $10,000, looking for an eventual capitulation to below 1,000. I remain very bullish Netflix and think its price got impaired this year by a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys. In my view, Disney will succeed, but the others will fall by the wayside. Netflix is at $329. I put out a supreme conviction buy alert on the 23rd of September at $270.75, and I'm reiterating that buy call, targeting $500 in 2020. As you are aware, the world continues to surf on a rising tide of free or nearly free money, which has lifted US stock indices to all-time highs, surged bond prices, and made sub-Saharan African sovereign bonds the best performing bonds worldwide in 2019. We're in the 9th innings of this expansion. However, Trump wants to win an election. Xi needs a truce in the trade war before the Chinese economy runs away from him and over the cliff edge. So I appreciate we're at the fag end of this party, but the punch bowl just got refilled. Enjoy it a little longer, but how much longer is the $64,000 question? And remember, the unraveling will be non-linear and exponential.